Okay, we're going to solve a grams to grams problem now. Now these problems are the big problems, okay? They're going to involve 3 conversion factors. So don't get scared, they tend to be a little bit on the bigger side, so you are now forewarned, okay? So step 1, you're going to need a periodic table, and that periodic table is going to help you go from grams of A to moles of A. All right, so once you have the molar mass or the formula mass of your first substance, right, which is the given information, it tells you like 200 grams of this or 100 grams of this, that's the first step. Okay, so find that substance and find the formula mass or molecular mass of that substance. All right, then you need to have a balanced chemical equation, because only a balanced equation is going to show you the molar ratios between the 2 substances in your problem. Okay, so now you have the molar ratios. That's conversion factor number 2. The last part is going to be going from moles of substance B into grams of substance B. All right, real important that you have the periodic table handy, and you're going to need to make a second calculation for the molecular mass or formula mass of the second substance. That will allow you to go from moles of B to grams of B. All right, so basically it's 3 conversion factors. First one involves a periodic table. Second one comes from the balanced chemical equation. Third one comes from the periodic table again to go from moles back to grams. All right, watch the video. If that sounded confusing, don't sweat it. Watch the video and it will make a lot more sense at the end, and we'll revisit those 3 conversion factors. Okay, we're going to show you a grams to grams problem. This one is one that involves a balanced equation, very simple equation. But whenever you're doing a grams to grams problem, there are many steps. All right, so let's take a look at what the problem is going to say, and then we'll take it from there. So here it says, what is the total number of grams of water produced when 116 grams of sodium chloride is formed? All right, so the 2 substances we're going to focus on in this particular problem is this one and this one. All right, we're not going to need to worry about this or this for the problem that we're solving, because it only involves water and sodium chloride, or table salt. All right, so this is the roadmap for solving a grams to grams problem. You're going to need to convert grams of the first substance into moles of the same substance. So we're going from grams of A to moles of A. All right, then you're going to use the coefficients in the balanced chemical equation to go from moles of A to moles of B, and then to grams of substance B. All right, now you may be wondering at this point, which substance is A and which substance is B? Well, substance A is the one that you start with, and substance B is the one you're looking for. Okay? Usually the substance that's given, it's giving you some kind of number, some kind of amount. So that's also a giveaway that that particular thing is substance A. All right, now for the main event. We need to start solving the problem. So we have 116 grams of sodium chloride, okay, NaCl, commonly known as table salt, right? Okay, now we're going to need to know the mass here, because what we have to do is we have to go from grams to moles. So we need to use our periodic table in order to figure that out. So the mass of sodium is 22.99. Let's just call it 23, okay, because it's really close. And then on this side here, chlorine's kind of in the middle. It's 35.45. So we're not going to be able to do any clever rounding there, but let's just do a little mini problem on the side here. 23 plus 35.45, and we'll add those together, okay? And what we're doing is we're figuring out the molar mass of sodium chloride. Okay, so we add this up, and we learn that there's 58.45 grams for every 1 mole of sodium chloride. Okay, so you may have to work out the mass of some substance on the side here. Okay? Now we're going to put that number into this part of the equation. Now if I want grams to cancel, right, because the first substance always starts our given information, right, with our given information over 1. So we want to make sure that the grams of sodium chloride is placed down here. So we're going to put our 58.45 down here. We're going to put 1 mole of NaCl in the top. All right. Now that allowed us to go from grams to moles of sodium chloride. Now, to go from moles of A to moles of B, we're going to need the balanced chemical equation. Now, this particular equation is very simple. All the coefficients in this particular problem was 1. All right, now you don't see any numbers there, but of course, when there is no number present, you can assume that there is 1 as a coefficient. So there's a 1 here, and then there's a 1 here. They're just invisible, okay? All right, so there's 1 mole of NaCl for every 1 mole of H2O. All right, the ratio is 1 to 1. Now some people may trip out because the substances are found on the right side of the arrow. You may say, oh, don't you need 1 on this side and 1 on this side? And the answer is no, not necessarily. Okay, you just have to read the problem and go with whatever the situation is. Sometimes you'll have to deal with 2 substances here, sometimes 2 substances here. Okay, so don't trip. Just follow the equation and follow what's given. All right, last piece of the puzzle, moles of water to grams of water. All right, so we need to figure out how much is in 1 mole of water. How many grams are there? And remember, when we have grams, we need the periodic table. So you look over here and you find oxygen's mass is 16. Over here on this side, hydrogen's mass is 1.01. So you do another little mini problem. This time you're going to have 16 plus 1.01 plus 1.01. Okay, you add these up, you get 2, 0, and then 8, and then 1. So this is 18.002 grams per mole of water. Okay, so I worked this out, and now I'm going to put that number in here. And there you have it. Okay, now, just as a check for yourself, all right, I'm going to use the fancy green pen here. Okay, maybe it'll be better to see through. Let's take a look here. All right, so grams of sodium chloride cancels with grams of sodium chloride. So that's cool. We want that. Then here we've got moles of sodium chloride cancels with moles of sodium chloride. Hey, that's good. Now we've got moles of water in the top, moles of water in the bottom. They cancel. And then the remaining unit is grams of water, which is what they asked us for. All right, so enough of the green pen. All right, let's go back to black. And now we need our calculator. Okay, because I'm not going to do all this in my head, no way. All right, so multiply the tops and divide the bottoms. So here we have 116 times 1 times 1 times 18.02 divide by 58.45 divide by 1 and divide by 1 again. All right, so the final answer for this problem becomes 35.76, and it's grams of water. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our final answer for this problem. So, if you ran into trouble at any point during this problem, I recommend that you rewind the video and watch it again, see where the crucial steps are for you, and then download the free worksheet and see if you can solve this problem on your own. And if you get stuck, I'm right here to show you how to solve it. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you next time. All right, you just watched a grams to grams problem. Now that was pretty big, I'm sure. So if it looks like it was a little overwhelming, make sure that you've watched some of the other videos where you're going from moles to moles or grams to moles or moles to grams, something, because this is a very, very intense problem. You need 3 conversion factors to get it right. So step 1, get a periodic table, figure out the formula mass or the molecular mass of the first substance using the periodic table. Okay, add up all the masses, and then that will tell you how many grams are in 1 mole. So that's conversion factor number 1. Conversion factor number 2 comes from a balanced chemical equation. Okay, you need to look at the coefficients of the 2 substances that you're converting between. Okay, and that will allow you to go from moles of A to moles of B. And then finally, you take out the periodic table one more time, and to go from moles of B to grams of B, you need to calculate the molecular mass or the formula mass of the second substance. Okay, figure out how much the grams are for 1 mole of that substance, and then you'll be able to plug that in and find the answer. Okay, so 3 conversion factors, kind of a long problem, and it's also important that you make sure that everything cancels properly. So double check the units, and don't be cheap, okay? Don't be cheap. Make sure you write in the units. It's very, very important. Okay, that's all I have for now. Do more practice. Take the worksheet, download it, print it out, and see if you can solve it without the video. Okay, and if you can do that, that's a pretty good sign that you know what you're doing, and then all you need to do is practice and reinforce. Practice and reinforce. Okay, always check and make sure that you're getting the correct answer. Don't solve a problem without a correct answer, okay? All right, that's kind of a long exit there, but I wanted to include a couple of extra points for you. And if you need more help, watch another video. All right, I'll see you next time.